If there's anything I'm good at, it is worrying. Worrying about now, worrying about the future, worrying about what other people think of me, worrying about my health, worrying about my job, about my family, about anyone that's in my life. And I think anyone who's human can relate to that. Worrying is a natural part of the process, but I wanted to talk about it today because I have been doing a lot of it lately. I've got a lot of things going on, and I've been questioning how useful worrying really is as a function. Now, I've got a few things going on at the moment which, even on their own in isolation, are stressful events. So I've got a new job starting with a whole bunch of new people that I've never met before in an industry that I've not worked in before. So there's a lot of stress in that sense. I've got a renovation project which was supposed to be finished about 3 years ago that is still ongoing and hopefully will be finished before the end of this year. And then lastly, there's a person in my life who is struggling with a certain issue at the moment, which is having an effect on everyone else. And that's as far as I'm going to talk about that. But any one of these events in isolation is stressful, and stressful things make us worry. And so I guess I want to start by thinking about the function of worrying. Like, why do we worry? What's the point of it? And I guess as human beings, all we really want to do is maintain the norm, is to stay within our comfort zone. And if we let ourselves go on autopilot, that is exactly what we do. We do the same things, we run familiar patterns, we eat the same foods, we go to the same places. We stay very much within our comfort zone unless we make a conscious effort to get out of it. And I guess then the function of worrying is to remind us that whatever it is we're worrying about has the potential to upset our normal patterns. And that's threatening in a way, because especially if that thing is something new that you've not done before, you've not experienced before, that represents a threat to you. It could be damaging or hurtful in some way, whether physically or emotionally. And at the end of the day, all our brain wants to do is to protect us from those things. And so it would rather keep us in the same lane, doing the same things that we're familiar with, than to stray outside of that lane and to make us put ourselves in harm's way, to expose ourselves to the potential of any danger. But I guess in my clearer moments, I've realised that worrying doesn't help. And there may be, maybe I've got this wrong, maybe I'm looking at worrying or anxiety in a negative way, and maybe there is a positive side to it. But if I think about it in the context of the renovation that I'm doing, now there are certain processes and things that need to be done, materials that need to be bought, tradesmen that need to be organised, and those things are stressful, and of course naturally I worry about them. But worrying itself in isolation, just thinking about the event, is not helpful. You know, if I need, I don't know, a plumber to be at the property on a Friday to do this job and he needs these tools, me worrying about what's going to happen if that doesn't happen and all the potential repercussions doesn't solve the issue. The only thing that's going to solve the issue is for me to get on the phone with the plumber, to speak to the guy, to organise the materials to be on site. And so action is really the only thing that alleviates worry. And the other thing that I want to explore in this video is the idea of depending on what sort of mind you're coming from. So if you're spiritual, you're going to look at it as law of attraction. And if you're scientific, you're going to look at it as, I think, something called confirmation bias. And that is essentially that this idea that the images that you hold in your head, you either attract into your life, or in the idea of confirmation bias, as you just see more of it. And I don't know, I guess I'm somewhere in the middle. Like, I am spiritual, I'm not necessarily religious, but I am spiritual, and that's not something I've really explored. Maybe I'll explore it in a later video, but looking at this purely from a scientific point of view, confirmation bias. And I'll give you a prime example of this. So not that long ago, I had a major problem with this car that I'm in now, and I was considering getting rid of it. And I did the usual of comparing all the different cars that I could get as a replacement, and this car, or this one particular car, came to my mind, and I thought, right, that is the car I'm going to buy. And after spending a day or so researching, suddenly I started to see this car everywhere, like everywhere. And as far as I remember, it was quite a rare car. The reason I wanted it is because I didn't see many of them on the road. It wasn't particularly expensive or flash or anything like that. I was downgrading, but it was unusual, and that's what I liked about it. And then suddenly, at least once every couple of hours when I was driving, I would see one on the road. And I think that's because we have this mechanism in our brain which, if we give it guidance, will point us towards the objective. And so if we spend our day researching a particular topic, or something physical, then, or maybe even an emotion, we start to see and notice more of that in our day-to-day lives. And I guess the law of attraction side of it is that you attract those things into your life. The more scientific way of looking at it is that those things were already there. It's just your brain is now noticing them more. And so this started to happen to me, and it made me think about what else, what other images am I holding in my mind that I'm looking out for? And more to the point, what things am I not looking out for that may be there? And that gets me back to worry, is if I'm worrying about a particular topic, then I'm focusing on all the negative outcomes. So if the plumber doesn't turn up, that's going to delay the electrician. And if the electrician can't get on with his work, that's going to delay the decorators. And there's this whole sequence of events. And suddenly my mind is catastrophizing and thinking of the worst possible outcome. And suddenly the renovation has turned into some derelict mess, and I'm bankrupt. And that is what I'm holding in my head, is this image of just chaos and bankruptcy and negativity and stress. And I'm wondering that if that confirmation bias is true, I don't think it's bias one way or the other. I don't think it sees good or bad. It only sees the thing that we are thinking of. And so if I'm holding these really negative images in my head, maybe that's exactly what I'm seeing more of in my life. So what's the point of all this, I guess, is the question. I guess it's just a reflection on how useful worrying is as a function. I think it is good in a sense, in the same way that adrenaline is good. You know, if something dangerous is happening in our lives, we have a reaction to that because our bodies are preparing us for danger, or to get out of it, or to fight, or whatever. And I guess any potential stressor that's coming up in your life, to your mind, is no different. Any stress, is whether physical or not, is a bear coming at you in the woods, and your body just wants to prepare you for that. So I guess I'm just trying to be more mindful lately of my worrying. I don't think it's something that I can control, and I guess really the only solution to it is acceptance, in a way. To focus, and I guess this maybe comes into the school of stoicism, but to focus on the things that I can control, and to try and let go of the things that I can't, because I can't control the things that I can't control. And no amount of worrying about that particular thing is going to make a blind bit of difference. Would love to get your opinions on this. Are you more of a school of thought of the scientific side of things? Do you believe in the fact that those things were already there in your life and that you're just this confirmation bias, that you're just seeing the things because you're focusing on them? Or are you more spiritual? Do you believe in like a law of attraction, that you're manifesting these things into your life some way? I guess I'm kind of sat in between the two at the moment. I don't have any like strong belief on either, but yeah, would love to hear your opinions on that. So let me know in the comments down below. Thanks guys, have a good day.